Hey guys, welcome to Manifesting Better. I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account. The link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available. The link for that too is in the description box below. Hey guys, hope you're well. So in this video, I want to talk about how I went from super insecure to a super confident individual. Now, when I'm making this video, and honestly, it feels slightly weird because if I think 7 to 8 years ago, if I would see myself and if that version of me would see me making this video, they would actually be very surprised because they wouldn't expect that I would ever be in a place where I would be able to make this video. Because honestly, if I will tell you a few things about it, but in my life I have had moments full of insecurities, full of trauma, full of situations like that, which have put me in a place where I haven't and I wouldn't ever expect myself to be confident as an individual. I think at that time I had accepted that insecurity will be a part of my life forever. So that's how I used to operate. And then one day I was just sick of everything and I started applying, and that's all I did. I did not see that there is any other way out, and that's how I got into this. So I will don't worry, I will share points, I will share everything. Let's just get into this video. So first I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. So when I said that I was insecure, what I basically mean is I was in a very deep financial situation at my house. I have seen financial situations where we did not even have a dollar to our name. Like we did not have money to eat food, things like that. That is how our financial situation was. And it wasn't that way from the start. We actually had a lot of wealth. It was all taken away because of some issues, like a long story. And as a child, I was bullied by people because of it. I know a few people knew about this and they bullied me in my school, in my college, and things like that. And then I have struggled for and in relationships since I have been younger. So I did not actually have a great relationship in my family from my own parents, like a whole story, like which eventually ended up with me having very unhealthy relationships where there were always third parties involved, where there were consistent toxicity involved, where there was consistent toxic environment involved. And I have also asked this question to myself, oh, how am I manifesting third parties again and again, when it wasn't me manifesting third parties, it was my self concept at that time could only get attracted to people who were involved with other people or who were toxic themselves, right? So that is how it was. And after a while, I remember I was having this chat with one of my friends, and me and her were talking. I was sitting on this chair. I still have this chair, like still I have it years later. And I was sitting on this chair and she said that, you're very insecure as an individual. And I remember I was talking to her about one of my exes a while back. And it's years, I'm talking about years back. And she said, you're very insecure. And that was the first time I even heard this word because I did not even know what it means. So after I realized I'm insecure, I got into this. That is when I actually started getting into manifestation, self-help, and all these things. And eventually it got to a point where I was consistently just learning about it, just learning about my own self, how to get out of these situations, how to manifest money, how to manifest relationships, how to be better at it. And it was an obsessive cycle of learning. So I have tried many things. It's not that these are the only things that I have tried. And honestly, if I want to elaborate on this, the video can be like an hour long, but I don't want to make an hour long video. I want to give you 3 to 5 concise points which will actually work and which have given me the most benefit. Like if I wouldn't try anything and if I was in that position and I would just try these 5 things and I would just stick to them thoroughly, I would still be pretty close to where I am right now. So the first thing that I did was that I started accepting what was happening. So the first step was acceptance that, yeah, I am insecure. I think a lot of times what we have to understand is that we live in our pride, right? We live in our ego. And for us to accept the fact that we are insecure is actually something that takes a lot of courage. So it's not something that is easy to accept. I think the first thing that was the game changer for me was to accept the fact that, yeah, I am insecure and I accept it, because accepting that made me feel very, very confident within myself. It made me feel that, yeah, if it comes to it, I would be someone who would be able to accept the truth. I had urges of getting defensive, and I see this in clients. I even posted about this on my Instagram the other day, that one quality that I see in successful people, like who get successful at manifestation, especially like in my clients, is that they are very open to change even if it's hurtful. I have seen a lot of people that when I advise them or someone else advises them, that they get very defensive because they take it personally, like that, you're trying to tell me that I'm doing this wrong, but a lot of my identity is actually supported and actually hung up on me doing this thing. So if I, like, how can you tell me I'm chasing this person? That is how I was too. So this is not a hit at you, but that is how I was too. But I had to accept the fact that, yeah, maybe I am toxic. Maybe if multiple relationships are failing, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe when I was younger and my family did not have wealth, it had nothing to do with me. But now, if I don't have wealth, yeah, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I need to accept the fact that I am insecure and that I need to take responsibility. That was the biggest game changer, honestly. Like, after accepting, I could actually apply these things, because once I accepted that, yeah, I'm doing something wrong, only then I can do it right. If I only think that, everyone around me is a fool, and when someone tries to help me, I tell them that, you don't know, they are not getting harmed by it. I am, because I am not actually open to change. The next thing that I did was I asked myself, what are the people who are the people in my life who I actually admire? Now, it did not just have to be people that I knew. It can be some celebrity, someone, for example, in my workouts, I admire Kobe Bryant, right? In relationships, I can admire someone else. In business, I can admire someone else. In health, I can admire someone else. And I set this panel of these people in my mind. And I genuinely asked myself, what would these people do if they were in my situation? And if I see myself from their eyes in this situation, would they respect me? Like, an example of this would be, if I pursue my career the way that I keep going, or if I look at my body the way that I am right now, and I take care of it exactly how I am right now, and in my mind, the person on the panel of physical health and physical fitness is Kobe Bryant. If he sees me, would he respect me? Would I respect myself if I see myself from his eyes? And the answer was no. So just taking that in made me realize that I would keep on going, and I would keep on course correcting till I found out what I would respect, or what the person who I am putting as the ideal outcome here would respect. And self-respect became a major component for me. My idea became that I would never struggle in relationships again. That's a promise to myself. I would never struggle in money again. That's a promise to myself. I would rather struggle alone than to be with someone who is in a toxic dynamic. That became my focus. And it was so focused on that I can do anything that I want, but I will never get into this situation again. That is the burning desire that Neville Goddard talks about, that you need to have a burning desire for change. That was my burning desire for change. The next thing, and this is a simple one, I did what I said I would do. And honestly, this is something we have talked about so many times. If I say that I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I shouldn't, in good consciousness, expect the world to treat me as a respectful individual, because I don't treat myself as a respectful individual. And I know that some people will say that's extreme, but it is true. Like, if I genuinely cannot just even do what I said I would do, then why should I expect the world to respect me? And why should I expect to be confident? Confidence is not a fluke. It does not just come out of the blue because I'm doing some affirmations. It does come because I know I am who I say I am. And I know I am who I say I am when I have done things I said I would do. And I have been pretty consistent at it. When I tell people that, if you put yourself first, this is what will happen. If you do these affirmations and techniques, this is what will happen. If you keep going forward and keep chasing, this is what will happen. It's not because I'm predicting it. I can predict it because I have seen it 1,000 times. So I have seen situations where I have chased and that has happened. Then I have told it to my clients, I have seen them do it, and then that has happened again. So it's not just a fluke, or it's not just something I'm saying. It's evidence-based.
I have evidence to believe that that's true. Similarly, I also have evidence to believe that when I say that, if you put yourself first, if you create boundaries, this is what will happen. It's because I have seen that in my life and in 5,000 plus clients that I have dealt with. So when I say that I will do something and I eventually end up doing it, I am someone who ends up building confidence in my own word, and I start gaining respect for myself. When I start gaining respect for myself, I start to feel more confident about myself. The next one, I stop trying to make myself small. Now, this is a common theme. What I have seen is that a lot of times, just because we are coming from a place of insecurity. So for example, I have done this too. I remember, I think this was one dynamic, one woman that I was involved with whom I knew I was settling. I knew genuinely that this relationship cannot last. But because at that time I was feeling lonely, I kept moving forward with it. And this girl had some unrealistic demands that I kept on meeting. The reason that I kept on meeting them was, in my mind, I was so scared of being alone that I consistently chose her toxic behavior towards me, because a part of me was okay with the fact that she was actually treating me this way, because one, I thought that that is what I deserved. Two, I knew that if I make myself bigger, if I stand up for myself, she will walk away and she will leave me. And the third thing was, it was easier for me to choose her certain unhealthy behavior than choose someone else who might give me, or even try to get into a better dynamic with someone. I knew I did not even want to be with this person, and I would rather choose her certainty and her certain unhealthy behavior than choose someone who's coming from an uncertain place but can provide me a healthy thing, because uncertainty was not something I was comfortable with. Because of that, I kept choosing this dynamic. And I realized that, putting myself down is never going to work. And I got into a point in my life where I realized that if these are not long-term results, they don't matter. Like, this one call does not matter. Sleeping with this person once does not matter. Like, all these things are actually just small ways to make myself feel validated. In the grand scheme of things, this is nothing. The next thing that I did is that, and this is going to be the most difficult one, is I asked myself, why would I even want to go after this? Now, I get a lot of questions about everyone is you pushed out, right? But one thing people fail to understand is that your choices are you pushed out too. So in a lot of times, whenever you're choosing something, it's a representation of your self-concept. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you will. An example of this would be, I can jump off a building, but I won't. I can go and pick a fight with someone, but I won't. I can, for example, buy that thing, but I won't, because it won't make sense to me. I can get 10 girls right now, but I won't, because I have a girlfriend with whom I'm in a loving relationship. So when people ask me this question, I know I was in a toxic relationship with my SP, and I know that it was abusive, but what can I do to get it back? And I say, focus on you. That's your major focus right now. And they say, but can I or cannot? If you actually focus on yourself, you probably will not even want to. The question that you should understand is that your choices are you pushed out too. So when I'm choosing something, I'm choosing it from the present state of consciousness that I am at right now. I'm choosing it from who I am right now. If I'm an insecure person, and if I'm coming from a place where I'm not okay being with myself, and I don't like myself, and I don't respect myself, the probability that I would choose a woman in my life who will actually treat me a very similar way, the probability that I would okay with being disrespected would be very higher. And I would allow that relationship in my life, and even my attraction towards that will be higher. If now I look back at the kind of relationships I was in when I started, it feels cringy that, why would I ever want to be with that situation? Not because those people are not the same way anymore. They are literally the same people. They are similarly the same level attractive. They have still the same things about them, the same qualities about them. It's because I have changed. It's because I have started to realize that I am a different person. It's because now I know that I wouldn't keep going in that situation because it's beneath me, because I have realized my value. So when people say that, I am in this relationship with this person who is very, very toxic, shall I manifest him? Can I manifest him? And I tell them that focus on yourself. And their question is, but can I manifest it or not? The question is, why would you want to if you actually change yourself? Because your choices will change. As you grow in your consciousness and as you grow as a person, the things that you want will change. They will transform. They will become different. They will become different because a new version of you requires a new level of things, and they would be attracted to new levels of things. So transforming yourself is actually not a choice, it's a need. It's something without which you cannot actually achieve the success that you want. And your success and the idea of your success should be long-term growth. It shouldn't be receiving something and for it to go away after a while. It shouldn't be getting into a dynamic for it not to work out later. It shouldn't be consistently chasing something because your feelings tell you to. It's important to understand that you are a human being and you possess conscious awareness. What that means is you have the ability to choose what you choose to go after and what not. If right now I feel the need to eat a burger, for example, I'm not just going to go and eat a burger because I know right now I don't have the need to, it's just an impulse. I can stop myself, which means I can practice control on my emotions. Similarly, when I know that I am just choosing something because it's coming from a toxic place and a poor self concept, I wouldn't keep choosing it. Now, that does not mean I won't have urges, and that does not mean that I won't have these insecurities. But my level of confidence, for me to turn from insecure to confident, is to confidently stick to my decisions, is to stick to the decision of going after things that I know I would want from a higher level of consciousness. Now, if it's that person, that's great, understandable. But you actually will have to find out by first working on yourself. You cannot predetermine that. So working on yourself and working on your patterns is a non-negotiable. It has to be done. It's something that cannot be avoided. If after that you say that, I want to pursue this person, definitely. But you first need to actually give yourself a fair chance. And I'm not going to tell you that your situation might be it where you have to focus on this from this capacity, because every situation is different. I'm just talking about how I used to view situations and how I changed. But every situation is different. Sometimes your choices are correct and they are coming from a very good place. Sometimes they need more evaluation and need more work. And that's something I can only advise in a one-on-one situation, in a session, because here it's not possible to advise you about your situation when it's a general video. So these are the things that I did to go from insecure to a confident individual. And I'm super happy with the progress that I have made. And I hope that you guys apply this too. I will see you guys in the next video, which is actually a success story, a marriage success story, and hope you have a good day ahead.
Click the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe and turn the notifications on for more such content. Comment down your video suggestions and I will see you guys in the next one.